Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Studio Series 86 Voyager class Junkheap figure. So what we're going to do with this video then, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We're then going to do some comparisons with him and I suppose it's the original owner of his mould. We can then also do some, not comparisons, but I suppose some display ideas and see how he looks with some of the other figures that have been released in the same toy line and through the different sizes as well, just to give you an idea, I suppose, just how big he is for a Voyager class figure. So as you can see, quite a bit to get through today with this video. So as I'm popping these back, I'd like to remind anybody, if they've not subscribed to this channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. Also, a couple of other things. I need to thank Robot Recruit, because that's the company who I purchased this from. And as you can see, they got him out to me nice and safely. And finally, before we do cut the box open and get him out, let's just have a couple of seconds to appreciate the beautiful artwork there on the front. It looks really good. You've got, of course, the full, I suppose, upper body torso there, a zoomed in of the head and bust area there. We can see that we're going to get a background of Planet Junkian. We can also see it's going to take 22 steps to transform in between. And there again, we've got the full, I suppose, robot mode of him. Again, windowless box, everything looks okay and intact. I suppose that's the most important thing. So let's just cut him out. Where are we going to go? Let's go with the top then. So we're going to open this up. And again, I'm quite excited to see this guy. I like the fact that we're getting sort of newish figures, newish characters that we haven't really seen before. I know we've had a few Junkians down the Generations toy line, but nothing, shall we say, as detailed or indeed as I believe to be as good as this. So yeah, you can see that it's definitely taken from the Retgar mould, but there's obviously some retooling on there. I'll show you the differences in a second. I'm just getting everything out. There's the background, try and get rid of the glare. We've got the instructions in here as well, of course, and it looks like all of the bits are attached there. To be honest, there's nothing else in the back. I say there's nothing else, but of course there's the wheels, you can see. So what I need to do now is set him free from there, come back with some first impressions and see how we can attach his accessories as well. Okay, so we've set him free from the packaging and it's time for some first impressions. And once again, it's just a great figure, the same as Retgar. Really like it, nice and chunky. It feels like you're getting your money's worth with this. It's what I'd class as, I suppose, a proper Voyager class figure. The head sculpt detail is brilliant. We've got these which will move backwards and forwards. Obviously we've got the bike just tucked up behind it. Articulation wise, the head, you can see he's on a ball and socket by the looks of it. It's a full range of motion and articulation. Yep, all the way around, up and down, shoulders all the way around, out to the sides, bicep flexion, wrist swivel, and of course shoulder turning as well. And at the bicep there's like a double ab crunch going on here. It's crazy. Some of that is for the transformation process, but it's just a brilliant additional part. You've got there legs, of course, you've got a waist swivel as well with that. You've got legs to the side. These are like on ratchets. That was quite tough to move. Back, forward, full range of motion, knee tilt, ankle tilt, rock, everything. It is just very, very good for a Voyager. And for those of you maybe a little bit worried if you're buying it for younger people, these are, yeah, they're quite soft rubber, to be honest. They're not very sharp at all, which is obviously very important because it is still a toy. Detail wise though, is brilliant. I mean, look at the head sculpt there. You can see obviously all the different colors coming into play there. The spikes here, these are solid plastic, but again they're rounded off, so they're not too bad at all. These on the front, by the looks, you can move, yeah, you can move these up and down, I suppose, if you wanted. That's one of the biggest differences obviously between this and Retgar. So there's a new head, there's a new chest, and there's a few other things as well which I'll point out in a bit more detail when we do the actual comparisons. With the wheels, of course, if we wanted to, I suppose we could put it on the forearm, but they're designed, I would imagine, to go and slot, yeah, straight over there, because there's actually a cutout there as well, a hole rather, so you can slot this over and that makes him look great straight away. With regards to the back, he's tucked away really nicely. Look, there's no real big huge gaps. That's just because I've lifted it up, so the back of his legs are clear. Back of his forearms maybe just a bit where of course his wrists and his fists have folded out, but otherwise it's a great looking figure. We've got his accessory as well, which again we'll have a bit more of a detailed look at later on. The instructions are there, and of course his backdrop is of course the planet of Junkian. Right, not much more to say with first impressions apart from the fact that he's looking really good and I'm very impressed with him. So we're going to come right back and he's going to be in his alternate mode. Okay, then we're back. As you can see, he's in his alternate mode. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Two reasons. One, to keep the main length of the video down, so it will be separately uploaded. And two, not to spoil it for anybody who's thinking about getting this figure and they want to experience that first transformation process for themselves. Now, I really like this again, but the problem with this, if we're being honest, it's just the scale, and it doesn't really bother me, but I know that it will bother people, and of course that's why I want to address it and just be honest about it. I mean, I love it. Look at it. It looks so good. I love these extra bits, which of course are around the forearms, which fall back and clip over there. It even disguises the fact that you've got arms there more. The wheels are brilliant. They've got, you know, full, as I say, spinning on it. This part does lift up just a fraction. Yeah, there we go. So the wheels will go around no problem whatsoever. I've already put the kickstands down. I suppose you can pretty much make out what it is and how it's all transformed from underneath. But I think it looks great. You can then, if you want to, you can take the axe accessory and you can just attach that in the back. Pretty similar to what you did with Retgar. You've got the lovely, as I say, translucent bit there at the front. I've just realised his head has perhaps come up just perhaps a little more than it should have done. Ah, there we go. That's it, because his real head for the robot head is trapped in under there, which you can see. And it looks all right. The handlebars, well, you can move up and down. But this is what I sort of mean by scale. It doesn't really bother me, but it's huge. It's giant. There's Blair, Deluxe figure next to Blair. It's not too bad. Little Daniel, though. Spike in his exosuit. And even Wheelie. And, of course, the main one, which we're going to do a little comparison with or see how he looks with him, is Retgar. And funnily enough, I've been displaying him differently to how I'm going to display Junkheap. So I've got one on his forearm there and one. As I'm talking about his wheels, let's move these out of the way and let's do, how can we put him on? Can we lean him forward? He just looks too big. It's too big for it. It'll work. You can stand there, you can pose him. He looks pretty good like that, to be fair, even with the Planet Junkian in the background. Obviously I need to take his axe off, but I'm just giving you an idea of how he does look. I think the main reason, or the main one, if you're going to be displaying pretty similar to Retgar, will be this hot rod figure, because he tends to fit, you know, on this figure sort of size. He works brilliantly. That works so well. I don't mind it. As I say, I know that people will, so that's the reason why I'm pointing it out. I think, again, the robot scales and all this is brilliant, and I do really like it. With Grimlock, he looks huge compared to it. But again, he's a leader class figure, so that's exactly how he should look. Let's have a quick other look as well at other things on the alternate mode, because I think it looks much better than Retgar's, for, as I say, for a couple of reasons. You've got these which fold down from the forearms, and I think the colour scheme in honesty works that a little bit better. And of course the wheels you can take in and out if you wanted to. It just looks like a great alternate mode. Really liking it. And if we pop it on here on the display, hopefully there's not too much of a glare. It looks good. Really like it. I've said that too many times, but there we go. That is his alternate mode. So the final thing to do is come back with him in his robot mode again. Let's see how we can display him differently with his accessories and his wheels, and of course see how he compares and displays with some of the other Studio Series 86 figures. Okay then, back for the final time, and again this is because I'm going to be choosing to be displaying him in this particular robot mode. So before we have a quick look at his accessories and how we can display him, let's bring the original owner of the mold over and let's have a quick look again and see some of the main differences, or I suppose some of the upgrades. So it's obvious, as I say, that we've got the different head, shoulders, upper chest, we've got upper feet as well that are slightly different as well, and we've got the lower arms, and of course we've got these folding out parts there as well. So there's quite a few differences in it. It's just a great use of the mold, and the fact that we've got this ab crunch in it, it's got to make it easily one of the most posable figures out there, and especially at this particular price point. Now, as you can see, I've chose to put one wheel on a forearm and one wheel on the leg with Retgar. That's slightly more difficult with this particular figure because of these. However, what I have noticed, and whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, but you see you've got this cutout there. and with a bit of positioning, and especially as you're moving it back, obviously as you're transforming it, if you keep it out of the way and then you turn it around this way, it'll sort of fit over that tab on his shoulder there as well, which is what you're using in the robot modes. If you really did want, sorry, in the alternate modes, if you really did want to put one on, you could perhaps put it there, but I just don't think it looks as good. I think it definitely looks better. I need to position this out of the way now. I just think it looks so much better, as I've said, with them on his legs in this. Let's just have a look at the stock photo actually, just to see how they've decided to. Oh no, they, funnily enough, as well, you see, so they've also decided that it looks better, which I would completely agree with, sliding the wheels over the legs, and you can see how that just fits into the, I suppose, knee joint area there. There's a big cutout, so it does fit in, and they do hold in place. The head, there we go. I was going to say it's quite hard to manipulate, but it's not really. It's just sometimes it can be awkward because there's just so many joints and articulation points. I'm going to pop this in his left hand purely because Retgar's is in his right, and when I display things I try and keep them slightly opposite, just for that reason, just to, I suppose, make them look slightly different rather than them just being exactly the same as each other. I'm really struggling to get this in, as you can see, probably because it's a brand new mold, and I haven't made the hole big enough or anything yet. So let's just pop it in there. Let's see if it rests. There's a hole as well on the back, so that must mean that, there we go. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, just to make it a bit easier for the rest of the video. See what I mean about how much he moves around? He really does move around loads. So finally, well, not finally, one of the final things to do is to put him in robot mode in this scene. I'd like to know in the comments if anybody actually does use these scenes, because I suppose as soon as you get 3 or 4 of them, what sort of, you've got no space left. So if anybody uses these, please let me know in the comments, or are they just like myself, all put away and kept for storage? Right, final thing to do then, let's bring in, we've already had Retgar in, so let's keep him a bit further back. We've got Hot Rod, who's a little bit smaller, so we can go there. And we've got RC now, lucky enough to pick up her as well. She's, again, scales pretty well with these. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the Junkheap from the Reveal the Shield line. Otherwise, I would be bringing him out. And again, I think that was just, I think it was pretty much a redeco again of the Retgar figure. Maybe in the future I'll be able to get one. And I know there is more than these figures. These are just the ones I've got lying around. So I'm just going to put all these out, mainly because they're all different scales, just to give you an idea of how big they are. It's really weird seeing Wheelie twice. The only one I don't tend to get out, and I think, and again, I've said this in the video for him, I don't understand. He should have been released in Legacy as a standalone Legacy, because the idea of this is to keep them all within scale. And of course, he doesn't go, so I'm going to take him back out. But there you go. I think he's a great figure. He's far better than I thought he would be. I've got to completely be honest. When I first saw him revealed, I was a bit unimpressed, thinking, okay, just another retool of the Retgar mold. But he's a great standalone figure, and I think he looks really good in his own right. So again, let me know what you think. Have you got him already, or are you thinking of picking him up? Take care, everybody.